Hello, geometry students. This is Miss Becky here again. We're going to go over some geometry notes for ixl. This is a really catchy little tune, isn't it? I see you. You're dancing. So am I. Okay, done with the dancing. Let's get on with some work, all right? This is a short video that we're doing, and it's on identifying similar figures. So what you want to do is look for some clues. Now, I can see with this triangle and this triangle that these angles are the same. They're congruent. And there's a wasp outside my window. But I digress. And I can tell that these angles are also the same, but the measurements are different. So what you want to do to make sure that they're in proportion to each other is choose two sides. Like I'm going to choose, let's see, this side here and this side here. Okay, and that's going to be the same as on this triangle, this side here to this side here. So I can see that this 24-foot leg right there is actually, it's the leg that's in between the two angles that are congruent. So, and the sides are the same, so it doesn't matter. So I'm going to do a ratio setting up this side to this side. And it's important to choose the same congruent sides of each triangle. So there are different ways to set up these ratios. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on this triangle. I'm going to set up a ratio from large to small. Okay, so 24 to 15. So this leg is in a ratio to this leg. So it's 24 feet to 15 feet. So if you put that in your calculator and divide that out, you're going to get 1.6. Now we're going to check this triangle, but you have to do it in the same way. So for me to keep it straight, I did like the larger leg to the smaller leg. So same deal. You got to go start with the larger leg, which is 16, divide it by 10, and you shouldn't have to put it in your calculator because you know that if you're dividing a number by 10, you're pretty much just moving the decimal one place there. So you can see that you're getting the same ratio, and it's the same. So that means that, yes, these are similar. Yes, similar figures. Okay, so moving right along to this next one. All right, what we want to do is look for some clues. Now, these all have right angles. These all have right angles. This one has, this side is congruent this side, and these sides are different lengths. But if you're looking at this one, you might notice, okay, we've got the 31 centimeter side here, but all of these are 31 centimeters. So if you chose to do a ratio like this just to check it out, you're going to come out with different numbers, because this one right here, so if you chose any two sides, it's going to be 31 over 31, which is going to equal 1. And this is not. So these are not similar. Okay? All right. So for this next one here, what are the clues that we have? We can see that they all have right angles. So that's a good clue. We have the measurement of this longer side to this shorter side. And we also over here, we have a longer side to a shorter side. Now we know that because of the rules of a parallelogram that the opposite sides are going to be congruent. So this one would be 35, this would be 25, this would be 42, and this would be 30. But we don't really need that. So I'm going to set up my ratios. Now, I like to set up in a certain order, like the larger side to the smaller side. So we'll do that. So, hey, where'd my calculator go? Okay, 35 225. So if you divide that out, you're going to get 1.4. Then you check this one. So this is here we went from larger side to smaller side. So you need to do the same thing with this one. So the larger side, you can't mix them up because you're going to get different numbers. So if you're going from larger to smaller, it's got to be larger to smaller. And then when I divide that, I get the exact same thing, 1.4. So I can say that, yes, these are similar figures. Okay? I wonder where my calculator went. Let's see. I wonder if I can get it back. I can. Okay. Okay, sorry. All right, now on this next one here, let's look at the clues that we have. I see this angle and this angle are the same. And I see, okay, that these two opposite angles are the same. These two opposite angles are congruent. But if you're looking here, these two opposite angles are congruent, but these two are not. So already I can see that they're not going to be the same. And again, if you look at the sides, all of these sides are the same measure. These sides are not the same measure. So if I did this, I could pick two sides. I could go 41 to 41, and that's going to equal 1. But here, well, so you'd have to choose the exact same sides. So going from the one angle to the one with 2, you can't do that here. There's no one angle there's not a angle on this one that is congruent with that one. So it's not going to work. So no, this one is not congruent. Okay. Hope that makes sense. Moving right along. All right, for this next one, start checking for your clues. I can see that the opposite angles are congruent on this one, and opposite angles are congruent on this one. And so that's pretty good. So I'm going to set up a ratio and see if it's true. So I like to go from the larger measure to the smaller measure. And just to double check you're getting the right leg here. Okay, so this is the leg that's in between the angle with one little mark there, and this one, it's between 1 and 2, and this one is also between 1 and 2. All right, so let's see if we have the same information here. This length is between a 1 and a 2. This length is between 1 and 2. I just always like to double check things like that. So I'm going to go from the large to the small. So if we calculate that, the calculator, which is the easiest way, you might get a whole bunch of, long number with decimals there. That's okay. We just need the first few to double check to see if they're right. So then on this next one, we can set it up. You just want to be careful. See, I went from large to small. You want to go from large to small. So 36 to 28. That also, if you want to check it out, is 1.28. On and on and on. Okay, so moving along. This next one here, let's look for our clues. So we see a bunch of the angles that are the same. They all have 90-degree angles. Now, these all have the same measure all the way around. And this one also has the same measure all the way around. So if you did the math, 37 over 37 is going to equal to be 1. Same thing here. 26 over 26 is also going to equal 1. I forgot to do yes on this one and yes on this one. And hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Let me know if you have any questions on that. Okay, so it's not really a long lesson, and it shouldn't really be too difficult on ixl. Hopefully that made some sense to you guys. Let me know if you have any questions on it, and I will see you next time. I see you dancing.